What's up, guys? Welcome to Riffing with Clintus, episode 60. Officially the first episode of 2021. Last episode was a review of 2020, so I don't really count that. But it's episode 60. I was trying to make this like the start of a new season. So I guess technically this is the start of season 3 of the podcast as well, which is kind of nutty. Kind of nutty when you think about it. Been doing this a long time. It doesn't feel like it though, because I've taken a lot of breaks. And first and foremost, if you're listening to this, I want to apologize. First, I want to thank you. Thank you for listening to this. If you're listening to this podcast through the podcast feeds the traditional way, thank you, because you are literally the reason why I keep doing this. Don't get me wrong. I like podcasting. I love podcasting because I like talking. Podcasting to me is synonymous with my live streams, where I sit in my chair in front of this microphone, in front of this camera for, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, talking to people. And live streaming to me is my favorite piece of content and my favorite medium to work with and to create, because it's everything that I love about social media, everything I love about, new media. It's having conversations, it's sharing my thoughts, my ideas, and then having a conversation around that. And, all the years of vlogging and Instagram posts and Twitter and all that stuff like that, live stream to me is like the best form of that. And really, I think it's the content that I shine the most in, because I'm able to, at least have some kind of camera presence. I'm able to, for the most part, get out words and sentences and get the things out that I need to say. Podcasting is kind of like a boiled down version of that. Now, traditionally, podcasting is done, recorded, so it's not live. A lot of people do that because you can edit things and you can, move things around. And plus, not everyone wants to be on camera and have the pressure of people, sitting there and watching them. So anyway, I want you to know, if you're listening to this, that you are the reason why even if I don't have something necessarily burning, like a burning thing to talk about, a story to tell, I don't have a guest, I keep getting reminded of those of you who remind me, who tell me, I listen to your podcast when I'm driving to work. I listen to your podcast while I'm doing schoolwork. I'm listening to your podcast while I'm on the train or the bus. I listen to your podcast when I go for walks or when I'm working out. I really, really appreciate that. And again, that you're the reason why I'm doing this. You're the reason why I'm talking and recording this right now, because there's not like there's not like a burning story or a burning topic that I want to talk about right now. What I really want to do, and this is something I wanted to try anyway, so it just happened to be that it's been 3 weeks since the last podcast. I kind of want to just do like a weekend review. One of the things that I haven't really been vlogging a whole lot. I've only been vlogging on the weekends because it's really the only time that I'm not streaming. So I'm more present to pull up the camera and vlog. We're also doing more things because, again, I'm not streaming. So I'm able to be dad and be husband and be, homemaker, or whatever you want to call it. So that's when more of the vlogging comes out. On the weekends. So I feel like the podcast is a great platform to talk about the week and talk about the intricate stuff. A lot of you guys don't watch the live stream. It's either because you can't, because of work and school or timing, or you don't because you're not into video games and you think that's all we do is talk about video games or play video games, and we don't. But still, it deters you. Or maybe you just don't have the time and you don't have the interest in sitting there and talking to a chat room full of people. So there's still stories to be had. If you are in my live stream, you realize that I'm telling stories. I'm talking about things. We're having conversations. And so anyway, this basically is just going to be kind of like a month recap. This is being recorded on January 25th, 2021. And so the last episode to go up was on January 5th. So this is basically like January in review. And there's a lot that's happened. It feels like there's a lot that's happened when you actually go through and you think back the last 3 weeks of your life. The first month of 2021, it feels like a lot's happened, even if maybe nothing's happened, right? So that's kind of where I wanted to go with this. As far as the podcast in 2021, I do plan on getting back to having a guest on every episode, or at least every other episode. Again, if there's a burning story or a burning like experience, something that happened to me that I'm like, I want to talk about this in depth and in detail, the podcast is where that's going to be at. And so I'm recording this live right now over on Twitch.tv/Clintus. That is my home. That is my main pillar and my home base for everything that I do. This is also being uploaded to youtube.com/Clintus for the VOD purposes, for those people who like to watch/listen to this on YouTube. And then of course it's going to go to the podcast feed and go anywhere and everywhere that you can listen to podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Slacker, Google, all that good stuff. Just do a search for Riffing with Clintus, hit that subscribe, it's free, and get notified each and every time a new episode goes up. So like I said, last episode was January 5th. Obviously right around that time was some big what's the term? Hubbubaloo? Something big happened in the Capitol. That took the news for quite a while. And Bryce got back on the streaming train. He started streaming and has been streaming consistently twice a week. And his new thing that him and Sierra have been doing has been playing Minecraft on Thursdays. They'll log into the Minecraft servers and will play Minecraft together. Sometimes it's just playing games. Other times it's, building stuff. But I remember the first night that they streamed was like the day after the state capitol, or not the state capitol, the U.S. Capitol's thing. I forget what day it was off the top of my head, but I feel like it was that day, the next day, because I remember tweeting, watching my kids playing Minecraft was the vibe that I needed tonight, right? It was just super chill vibes, the Minecraft like noises and stuff, and the blocks, and so it was definitely one of those moments, a proud moment to watch, like just listening to my kids. Or I'm watching Bryce obviously because he's streaming, but then I'm hearing Sierra as well. And they've done that now, I think, for 3 weeks since then. So it's been 3 weeks since they did that. The month of January, I pretty much have only played one game, and that's Escape from Tarkov. It's a game that I've been playing off and on since 2017. I remember when the game was announced and we saw the first trailer, and it just sounded so epic and so amazing. It was a gritty first-person shooter. It kind of had like a PUBG vibe to it, post-apocalyptic kind of vibe to it. But then, the things you read about was like, the permadeath situation and the looting and the experience and the MMO and RPG elements. And, on paper, it sounded too good to be true. And then, of course, it launches and we realize, that's a very long tunnel that they are driving through to get us there. But I started playing it in 2017, and typically it's always around Christmas time. That's when I first started playing it. Was December of 2017, and I would come back to it once or twice a year, usually during a big wipe or a big update, new map dropped, something like that. I remember when Interchange first came out. I remember when Labs first came out. Loved Labs when it first launched. It was awesome. And so they've continued to update the game, and they do wipes where they wipe your account from back to square one, I think twice, maybe 3 times a year, which, there's mixed feelings about that. Some people like it, some people don't. Personally, I like the fresh wipe feeling. I hate that I have to redo all my tasks. The tasks are a pain in the ass. Some of them are a pain in the ass. Others are just plain boring and whatever. But the last time I played the game last year, I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, Destiny's always been my home. Destiny's always been, the community that I fall back to and have the most friendships made and the most relationships built across the internet, right? Whether it's Twitter or Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Bungie themselves. I've got years and years of, memories with that game and that franchise. But over the years, Destiny's evolved me as a gamer. Traditionally I love PvP, right? The years you go rewind the tapes back to my college days, Counter-Strike, Tribes 2, Medal of Honor, Team Fortress 2. Like all I loved was was first person shooter PvP. And then I got my first taste of MMO when I played EVE Online. I played EVE Online for about 3 or 4 years, and I got my first taste of that, like, you know, build up a character, build up your stash, build up your economy, your money, and then, you know, go attack and do this PvP event, and then, you know, get out licking your wounds or whatever. And so when I played Destiny for the first time, it felt like a light version of like a Call of Duty MMO, right? It was kind of like the gist of it that I first got into. And since then, you know, 6 years later, I love Destiny. I love it. And I go back to it often, obviously. But in the last couple of years, being more PvE focused, because I'm able to talk to my chat more and talk to my community more, and there's just more to talk about because PvE tends to be a bigger part of the game. I've played other games, right? I did the Division. I did the Division 2. What was that one? Ghost Recon, Borderlands, Anthem. Oh my gosh, I loved Anthem. I loved playing Anthem, right? But again, there needs to be that end game to keep me going. There needs to be that carrot on the stick, so to speak, to keep me playing the game. And all these other games have not been able to keep up with Destiny, in my opinion. Also knowing that Destiny is not going away, that they have no plans, especially now we know confirmed there's another, 2.5, 3 years of content. It feels like that the time that I put into the game is not going anywhere. It's not wasted, even if it is, so to speak, wasted in a year from now, right? When things are sunsetted or whatever. And we're going to get into that. We're going to talk Destiny for sure. At some point, we're going to get into the nitty gritty about Destiny. I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. I keep having to like rub it. Anyway, my point I'm trying to get at is that because I played so much Destiny, was so focused on Destiny, and trying to be better at Destiny, there's other games that got me excited for being a content creator, like the ones I mentioned, the Division, the Borderlands, and other games, that I appreciate other games now and want to kind of take a break from Destiny. Because I feel like when I take a break from a game, or I take a break from anything, when I come back to it, I appreciate it more. And that's happened numerous times. And I think that's the reason why I take a break to play another game. And then I come back to Destiny and I go back hard. And I'm like, oh yeah, back to Destiny. It feels refreshing. It feels good. And so when I knew there was a wipe coming up in Tarkov, regardless of what new content was coming out, I knew there was a wipe coming out. I told my community that this was the wipe that I wasn't going to take a break from. I was going to rotate it in, keep it part of the rotation, and just, make Tarkov like Call of Duty has become a main thing. So it's Destiny and Call of Duty, Destiny and Warzone. Those are kind of my two main games for a while now. So then the wipe happened. I started playing it and immediately fell back in love with it. I always do. It's always the same effect. I start playing Tarkov and I'm like, oh God, I love this game. I fucking love this game. And it's arguably the best place it's ever been, right? Again, someone who's played it over the years, I can tell you this is definitely the best version of Tarkov, even though it's not perfect and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. This is the best version so far. Also last year, coincidentally, was when the big Twitch drops and the biggest changes came to the game that really took the masses. You had guys like Dr. Lupo and I don't know, Sequisha's always kind of played it. Sacriel and guys like Pastili and a couple others that really just blew up on Twitch and put the game. They were already like great content creators, but to put Tarkov in a light, it really exposed it to the masses, and that's when you really saw the game kind of take off. I remember years ago, I would stream it, at night, wife and kids off to bed. I'd get on at like at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Pacific, and I could stream Tarkov with maybe 100 to 120 viewers and be in the top 5 easily. Now you can't break the top 20 unless you have 1,000 viewers. The game has gotten that big and that successful. And a lot of streamers, I have to applaud. I have some friends in the directory that have just absolutely crushing it now because they've stuck with the community and stuck with the game, and they've built up, much like a lot of my friends have in Destiny. You stick to that game, you build yourself in that community, you can exponentially grow for sure. Anyway, to button this back up, I'm really, really enjoying Escape from Tarkov. It's all I've played this year. I think I have maybe 3 hours in Destiny. That was for a raid night. I haven't touched Cold War or Warzone or zombies at all. though I have this itch to, like, in the back of my mind, you know, people ask me on a regular basis, when are you playing Cold War again? When are you playing Warzone again? When are you playing Destiny again? Have you tried this X other game? I want to play these other games, but it's just this, I feel like that would be, that's the old version of me. The old version of me would be like, you're right, I do need to play that game. Switch. You know what? I have been thinking about the game. I should play it. We're going to play it tomorrow. Let's go. And I feel like, no, I need to, like, I'm having fun playing this game. I just need to play this game. On top of that, I've been playing with a wide variety of other content creators. Some old friends, like Professor Broman, love Ben, longtime Destiny fan, Destiny friend, content creator. One of the guys that originally pushed me to come to Twitch from YouTube. And then new friends like Action Jackson and Trevor May and Genticles and people that I've known in the community but never actually had a chance to play with because we didn't play the same games. It's been really fun, and the feedback that I've gotten overall is everyone's enjoying this last month of streams, playing Tarkov, getting better at the game and progressing in the game, collaborating with other content creators that they've never seen before, never heard of. And enjoying the collaborations too, not just like, oh, cool, you introduced me to this new person, I'll go check them out. No, I like you playing with this person. You guys are, fun. There's entertainment. There's something going on there. So the streams have been really, really awesome. And then on top of that, just kind of a little cherry on top, my numbers have been good. So it's been like a win-win-win this past month. And granted, it's only the first of the month. It's always the same. I feel like January is always a good month for me, and kind of get into Q2 is when things kind of settle for the summer, but we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of the front of the streams and the video games. Has been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov, loving that. Been playing a lot of with a lot of other streamers, been loving that. Like I said, Bryce and Sierra have been playing Minecraft on Thursdays, and then Bryce has just been streaming whatever on Tuesdays. He's been doing Rocket League, Madden, Call of Duty. I think he did Minecraft on his own. Oh, and then For Honor. He's been starting playing For Honor again. So he's really, really been enjoying. He's been really enjoying the variety. I think he's coming out of the gate as a variety streamer, and he already has the numbers because of his fan base on YouTube. He can pretty much be a variety streamer out of the gate. Obviously, certain titles will do better for him just because of his demographic. But he's going into it like, I'm gonna just play whatever I want. I'm like, yeah, you do that, kid. You do that. Unfortunately, he's going to have to push. He's going to have to push it to 3 days a week if he's going to want to try and go for partnership. Theoretically, he's met the requirements on the viewership and the follow count, but he needs to stream 12 days in a month and hit like 25 hours. And the only way he's going to do that is if he streams 3 days a week, for the month, or 7 days 1 week and then break it up. I don't know. He needs to do something, but it's working out for him right now. He's enjoying the 2 days a week. He actually looks forward to his Tuesdays and Thursdays. Though I will admit, and I kick him in the butt every once in a while for it, he doesn't think about his channel and his streams until like, an hour before his live stream. He gets that from somebody in the family. Until it's like right in front of his face, he doesn't start thinking about it. So it's one of the things I'm trying to get on him about is like, hey, on Monday, do XYZ for your channel before it's Tuesday, right? Wednesday, do XYZ for your channel before it's Thursday. Don't wait to the last minute. It's kind of the idea that I'm trying to give to him. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of Tarkov. I've been doing a couple of, long 10, 12-hour streams just because I'm having a good time, and time flies in that game. I swear the days just fly by when I'm playing Tarkov, with or without anybody. It just the raid, one raid can take 30, 40 minutes. You're in the same like map and same mission for that long. By the time you get out, you're like, okay, now I can breathe. You're like, oh my God, it's been an hour. It's been crazy. So yeah. That's on the Destiny, on the video game. I keep saying Destiny, but it's streaming. Destiny and streaming has just become synonymous with each other for me. So then that weekend, I went and stopped by my buddy Chuck's house and got to see him for a little bit. We had lunch out in his garage. I actually sat in the back of his car, back of his truck, and he sat in his garage, and we just kind of shot the shit, and we had a lunch. We had some Chiba Hut. Good stuff. I haven't had Chiba Hut in so long. He talks about it all the time because he gets it delivered, and I'm always like, oh, dude, Chiba Hut. Jimmy John, same thing. There's some really good sandwich places I just can't get delivered here. But that was a nice catch up with him because I haven't really seen him, since COVID. I think we've only seen each other one time since all of COVID went down. Same thing, just I think it was for his birthday, actually. I came over and just dropped off some stuff for him. Sat on the back patio, just kind of, caught up on things we talk all the time in DMs and text messages, but it's like, so it's different when you're face to face. Same thing with my brothers and whoever. So then that day afterwards, since I was on, a different side of town, I went plant shopping, and I went to a couple different plant shops, nurseries. Nothing really here on the west side where I live. Most of them are Central Phoenix or East Valley. And so I kind of went to 4 or 5 different locations, and I only bought 2 plants. I didn't get crazy. I just more than anything, I just wanted to know where to go. Okay, this is the place that has the best selection. This is the place to go in the future. And so it was one of those things where I just went to 4 different places, took notes mentally, like, okay, this place is the best variety. This place had the most select, the most plants, whatever, right? And this one was a little overpriced because it's more of like a mom and pop kind of thing. And so I ended up buying 2 plants for my plant stand that sits behind me on stream. And surprisingly, I've actually got 4 or 5 pots that I need to fill. I've lost a couple of plants and I've gotten some new pots. And so I'm really excited to go all in. I'm going to go back to one of these plant shops and just have a number in my head. I need to fill five pots. I'm going to buy 5 plants, right? And then maybe a new pot and then another plant to fill that. We'll see. But that was really cool to go and experience actual plant shops. Cause up until now, I've only just bought my plants from Home Depot and Lowe's, the big box stores. The selections aren't that great. I do get my subscription box. I still get the 1 plant a month. And I found out because I was starting to question whether it was a good deal. I pay $12. Well, now I guess it's free shipping, but the box went up, so it's $15 a month. You get 1 plant, a 4-inch pot that's delivered to you monthly. You don't know what you're gonna get. They do give you teasers on Instagram if you check the stories and whatnot. But it's one of those things where I was questioning whether it was a value because I felt for 2 months I got I got a golden pothos, which is a very generic plant. You can get one for $5 anywhere. And then I got this heart-shaped succulent. And I was like, I don't know, man, this doesn't feel like a $15 plant. You know what I'm saying? But then I looked at some of the other plants I've gotten in the past and what these nurseries were charging for them. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. They're balancing it out. While 1 month they give me an expensive plant, then the next month they give me a cheap plant. And so it just kind of balances itself out. I'm like, okay, now I don't feel so bad. Because part of it's the excitement of getting a new plant every month and not knowing what you're going to get, right? It's a surprise, but it's also I know I'm going to get 1 plant every month. So even if I don't leave the house and go plant shopping, I'm at least going to get 1 new one every month. So I like it. It's exciting. The 2 plants that I bought from the nursery, one cost me $8 and one cost me $20. So they're the exact same size, just different kind of plants. So like I said, that made me feel better about the plant box. So yeah, that was an exciting weekend, and I hadn't been going for my walks, and it's been really kind of bothering me for multiple reasons. And I think mainly it has to do with the weather. I just don't like the cold. Call me whatever. People like to make fun when I say it's cold outside, and they're like, it's only 45, it's only 50. That's not cold. It's whatever, dude. Tell me it's hot when it's 80 degrees. You're like, oh my God, it's so hot. I'll be like, bitch, you don't know hot. I'm boiling eggs on the concrete, or I'm frying eggs on the concrete. It's to each his own. It's to each his own. It's one of those things where the temperature is relative to where you live, right? We get such extreme heats that our winters are mild in comparison to the rest of the country. But for me, who, I typically I'm barefoot with shorts and a t-shirt on all the time, 50 degrees is chilly, So when I get up in the mornings, it's still dark out and it's still the coldest part of the day, relatively speaking. I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to get dressed and go for a walk, when it's still somewhat dark out. The sun's just barely coming up where you can at least see where you're going. And it's cold. So then I started trying to like do my walks like after my stream. The problem with that is by the time I get done with my stream, the kids are done with school, Tiff's starting to work on dinner. It's hard to like just leave. Like I've been in here streaming for 8+ hours. It's hard for me just to like, all right, I'm going to go for a walk now. And then I'm gone for another hour on top of that. And then by the time I get done with dinner, it's dark again. So it's just this vicious circle that I haven't quite figured out when the best time is for me to go for my walks. Because I like to go for walks for multiple reasons. One, I like the scenery. I really like where we live. We've got some amazing looking trails. Our streets are lined with big canopy trees, and there's other people walking around too. So like just the other day, I bought some Girl Scout cookies from these girls. They're just selling them in their driveway because I'm sure they're not like at front of grocery stores anymore, like selling them right now because of COVID. They're on the street corner like with a sign going, "Hey, we're selling Girl Scout cookies." And I was like, you know what? I'm on my way home. Let me grab my wallet. I'll come back and I got 3 boxes. Like in my neighborhood, I'm supporting someone who lives in my neighborhood. It's great. I love it. So yeah, I'm missing my walks for sure. I went on a short one today, but holy crap, was it cold? Like the wind, it's been raining all day here. Now we got hail and rain, and then the wind is blowing like crazy. And so coming back towards my house, the wind was like hitting me in the face. And I'm just like, I'm like pulling my lips in because I'm like, I'm going to get chapped. And I had a beanie on, so my ears were covered. My nose, my face was just like, the wind chill. I was like, this sucks. So yeah, I forget where I was going to go with the walking thing, but just exercise in general. It's New Year's. A lot of people are New Year's resolutions to get in shape, and people start going to the gym, start doing things. I've actually been the opposite. I've been exercising less and less just because like I said, the weather for me has not been the greatest, in my opinion. I have a gym very close by, and so there's really no excuse for me to not go to the gym other than just making the time for it. And it comes down to a commitment. You have to want to go. You have to want to do it. Again, I like to go for walks because I like the scenery. Also because I like to listen to podcasts. And, if I go for an hour walk, that's an hour podcast. If I can do that 5 days a week, that's 5 hours of podcasts that I can consume. And I consume a wide variety of podcasts. I listen to stuff similar to this, where it's like storytelling, either, someone like Kevin Smith. I like Joe Rogan, though I haven't listened to Joe Rogan since he moved to Spotify, just because it's a different app. And so the fact that I just have him in there and everyone else is an Apple, it's like, so every once in a while I'll pull the Spotify app just to look and see what guests he's had. But I feel like I don't even see him on Twitter advertising anymore. So I'm like, I don't even know what guests he has and if there's anything good, but I do miss Joe Rogan. Or I listen to like, Destiny podcasts and gaming related podcasts. There's a couple comedians I'll listen to. I actually really like, is it Bill Burr? I think it's Bill Burr. He does a podcast, which is very similar to what I'm doing right now, ironically, where he just kind of talks about, it's Monday morning or Monday night, and he'll talk about his weekend or the week prior. And he's a comedian. He storytells. He throws his like comedy spin on it and his Boston accent. So it's fun to watch and listen to. Had some Chunky Monkey ice cream for the first time in years. I don't even know the last time I had Chunky Monkey ice cream. But oh my God, is that ice cream awesome? It's banana ice cream with fudge chunks and walnuts. Like, that sounds amazing. And it was amazing. And I ate the whole freaking pint to myself. That's one of the things. Tiffany hates buying pints because they're like expensive. Like for the amount of ice cream that you get for the price, like you buy a whole gallon, But pints are just so convenient. You just pick it up, you eat a couple of spoonfuls of it, you put it back in the freezer, and you just keep, it's great. I love it. I love doing that. What else is going on? What else is happening this past month? Like I said, a lot of Tarkov. Been trying to post more clips. I'm really bad at that. I use my buddy Cade's service called Make Echoes, and it does a really good job of compiling clips and making a YouTube video for you. It takes all the guesswork out of it, all the legwork out of it. I love Make Echoes, but it's two separate things, right? Like that makes a YouTube video for me, which is great for Clintus Games. But I fail to mark and make the clips for like Twitter and Instagram. And I know that's something he's working on, that eventually you'll be able to just, pull all the clips and you'll have all the clips. But like, it's the work of like, this moment happened, grab it, capture it, so that I can post it later. And, before I would hit the, make a clip button, but then I would do the edit button and I'd edit it because the best clips are edited. But then I'm like still live and Tarkov, like you can't take a break from like, oh, hang on guys, let me make a clip real quick. Like people are still shooting at me. Right. So one of the things I've been doing is just marking it and then trying to go back the next day to pull, anything that I marked, try to go back and like find the clip for it, so I've been trying to get better at doing that, but I definitely feel like I've been slacking across the board, honestly. And this isn't me complaining. I've actually, because we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, Twitch has been awesome this last month, playing Tarkov, playing with different broadcasters and content creators and different collabs, and just numbers being up in general. I've said this numerous times, and I know people on YouTube hate to hear me say it, but it's like Twitch is now my main pillar and my main focus, and it's what generates the most revenue for me. It's what gives me the most opportunities. The last couple of opportunities, sponsorship pitches that I've gotten are for Twitch, not YouTube. So it's finally starting to turn a little bit, or they're like, we want it all, right? So we want, a shout out and a panel on your Twitch. We want a YouTube shout out, we want a tweet, a story, Instagram, so it's becoming part of the package, which makes me feel good. It means that, the last 3.5 years haven't been all for nothing. I'm pivoted and I'm more of a streamer now than I'm a vlogger or YouTuber. So that's where I put most of my focus in. So when things are going good on Twitch, it's justified that I'm putting more time and energy in here, and I just want to stream more and then less time to the vlogs and less time to the podcasts. But then also I feel okay letting maybe something slide a little bit. Twitter and Twitch, Twitter and Instagram, there's no revenue generated there per se. Like there's no ad revenue. There's no, passive income there. When I post, it's purely a social graph. And so when I get a sponsorship, they're going to look at my numbers and what's my interactions and that sort of thing. And so that's where that comes into play, where I need to keep up with those platforms. And I haven't been. In fact, I was just looking at Instagram yesterday. I've only been posting like once a week, which for a content creator / influencer is horrible, right? Like realistically, I should be posting every day and realistically more than once a day, right? And it's gotten to the point where I've only been posting, like I said, maybe once a week. I think for the whole month of January, I've got maybe like 6 photos. And so when I realized that, I'm like, oh man, that's rough. Like I need to step it up. But I also realized in the last year, I guess, my content is predicated on me experiencing things. That's where the daily vlogs came from the beginning, right? It was, my experiences, me sharing my first time showing Sierra and us finding out we're pregnant with Bryce and, getting sushi and going to the arcade and all the fun things that people came to, learn to love from my channel all came from those experiences. And fast forward to today, my tweets, my Instagrams, my vlogs, my IRL streams, like it's all these experiences. And because I'm locked at home and I'm not really able to experience anything and not even to the fullest extent. I mean, yes, you can go out. Yes, a lot of things are open and you can experience things, to a certain degree. It's just not the same. One of the things I talked about with the vlogs is like, I'm wearing a mask the whole time. So it's like, I'm trying to vlog, but I'm wearing a mask. You can't see my face and my voice is muffled. And now you're wondering like, what is it I'm trying to say? Like, oh, now I need closed captioning for everything. It's like, it's just not the same. So it's taken a lot out of me, the drive to post things, the Instagram posts, the stories, even in innovating and coming up with new things. Like there's a couple new platforms that have emerged this past year. And I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care about them. I'm not looking to grow and move to another platform, even though I know I should. And that's has a lot to do with like the current state of things, right? This chair and playing video games became an outlet for so many people, including myself. It was the one place where I was able to interact with people and be social, because I wasn't able to go out and see my friends and go to restaurants and bars and and hang out with people. So me being live was my social outlet. And though I'm very lucky to be able to do this, on a regular basis and have those social interactions, I do miss face-to-face contact. I do miss recharging my batteries, and talking to people. So I'm very much looking forward to 2021 and getting back to some sort of normalcy at some point. Because I know that I need it. Sometime in the middle of January, we got some new emotes on Twitch. Even though I didn't have any open slots, I did order some new emotes from my artist, Katie Jetto. She does amazing work. She's done all my emotes for the most part. There's a couple that have been done from other community members or myself, but for the most part, she's done them all, and she just does amazing work. The 5 new emotes that we've gotten, I've been told, are some of the best on the channel right now. So it makes me happy and excited and whatnot. So it's, that's a cost to me, but it gets giving back to the community, because it's people who are subscribed to me. So they've unlocked those emotes, and it just kind of goes full circle, so pretty excited to be able to get some new emotes out at the first of the year, and hopefully I can continue doing that. Just, 2, 3, 4 new emotes every couple of months, when it's situational, when it's something that's in the, in the news, or there's a meme going on, like, the whole Bernie Sanders meme that's going on right now at the time of this recording. I saw a couple emotes pop up, like people immediately uploaded those and got them up for, while it was a hot topic and while it was a meme. So I can see myself doing that from time to time, put some new emotes in there. One thing that I am missing right now is I haven't really been playing with a lot of my homies, because I've been doing night streams. I bumped up my hours to 8 a.m. and so I've been doing like 8 to 4. And a lot of my friends get on after 4, right? They're getting off work, they've got family, and then they get on to game, or they'll get on with the game for a couple of hours between work and dinner, right? Or partner time kind of thing. And so that's one thing I've definitely been missing. I've been playing Warzone, haven't been playing Destiny. Tarkov's been fun. I have a lot of friends who are playing Tarkov, but again, it's just that staying on later to hang out with them. I'm trying to figure that balance out, because like I said, I really like starting my day at 8 o'clock. I feel like 10 o'clock worked for me when I had things to do or I was trying to get things done. But I felt like some days I was just kind of like dilly-dallying around, and not really being productive the whole time. So it's nice to just kind of wake up. I have an hour to like do one task: email, comments, text messages, clips and highlights on Twitch, make echoes on YouTube, whatever it is. And then boom, I'm here at 8 o'clock and I start my day with you guys, with the community. My first cup of coffee. I've even been postponing my first cup of coffee until on stream, right? Having my first cup of coffee with you guys. And it's been working out pretty good, but I feel like there's definitely some more adjustments that are going to be needed. I want to start going to the gym, even if it is just for, 30 minutes, or get a workout in. Tiffany's been doing the Apple Fitness Plus, and there's 10-minute workouts on there. And so it's just like, again, it's just carving out the time, making the time to do a workout. And I feel like a lot of times that stuff needs to be done in the morning. So who knows? Maybe I start busting them out at 7 a.m. and get it done before I start my stream. We'll see. A lot of internet issues. Speaking of which, today I actually didn't stream this morning because the internet was just a dumpster fire. I was just dropping, 60% of my frames while I was trying to go live. And I did a test too. That's the funny part. I did a test and everything was fine. I did a speed test. The speeds were fine. I went live and immediately started dropping frames. I was like, wait a minute. I just did a test like 5 minutes ago. What happened like from that 5 minutes ago? You know what I'm saying? And so I went offline real quick before it like really went out to everybody and did some tweaking, and yeah, it was just internet was bad. And then it stopped again. I was like, okay, it's the weather. It's raining. It's cold. It's just, it'll fix itself. I went live. Everything seemed to be fine. I waited like a good minute. Everything's fine. No drop frames. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee. I go make a cup of coffee. I come back. to a red bar and dropping frames. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I ended up sitting at my just starting soon screen for 30 minutes. I talked on the mic briefly, just letting people know, hey, I'm here, but they're dropping frames, and they could tell. I mean, the intro was all, messed up, and they're getting the spinny wheel and all that stuff. But it's been going off and on for a couple of weeks now. And, I'm in a newer area, but I also share it with an older area, like because nodes are big. If you don't know how the internet works, like it's 1,000 homes that one node can feed. And so it's one of those things where I think there's a lot of different factors going on. People working from home, kids are at home schooling right now. So there's just a lot more utilization happening. But when I moved into this house, I had them check my node, and the utilization was only at 20%. And that was October, November. So theoretically, school, work, everything should be exactly the same. So I think this is just, the weather. Coax and cable internet's very finicky that way. Twitch did something really cool this year. They put out these like recaps for both streamers and viewers. And it was kind of nice to see like a roundup for the year. I had basically streamed 1,900 hours in 2020, and 151, let's just round up to say 152,000 hours were watched on my channel, which is really cool when you think about that, and you're trying to do the math and break it down a little bit and figure out what that is like in actual, days, months, that sort of thing. But it was really cool. It was cool to put that timestamp down and just see where I put most of my time. And we've made some amazing friends this past year, and some new community members that are near and dear to my heart, and chose to support us and support what we do, and to support me, and make sure that I'm still able to continue to do this. And so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. Sierra started her volleyball season, club volleyball season, and it's been an interesting one. Last season kind of ended abruptly. They tried to play, during COVID, and just it got too weird and everything. Fast forward to now, and things are more normalized, like wearing masks and social distancing and limiting the number of people. Like that's more normal now. So she's playing, and they're limiting the number of spectators, right? There's only allowed 3 spectators per team. So when you go into one of these, gymnasiums, auditoriums, it's very, very open, very, empty. There's just not a lot of people there. I was actually able to go this last weekend. I was one of the parents that got to go. And so I got to watch them play their 3 games, and they did okay. I think they went 2-1. But for the weekend, they did very bad. I think that was the only 2 games they won. Actually, they went 2-5, I think, for the weekend. But yeah, twice now, Tiff and I have sat down and watched Sierra play via a live stream. Right, the parents will, put it on Facebook Live, or there's like some app or link they use through the volleyball program. And so I remember the first time watching Sierra on the TV was like, we got chips, salsa, margaritas, and we're watching volleyball. I said, this is probably what it feels like for a parent that has a kid that plays college sports or pro sports. Like, imagine watching your kid play in the NFL or the NBA, and you're at home going, that's my kid. You get their jersey on, right? Like, that's kind of how I feel watching Sierra, though it's definitely not the same. It definitely does not have the same vibe. And again, when you're watching sports on TV, they have multiple camera angles, and they've got the commentators, and you're watching this static in the corner video of, these teenage girls playing volleyball. It's just not quite the same. Oh man, food though. Got some amazing food this month. I love my Blackstone griddle. I got that for Christmas, and it's basically a flat iron. You hook it up to a propane tank, you get some spatulas, and you're like ching ching, like hibachi style. I've made some amazing stuff on that. Fried rice is definitely my favorite. Though this last week we did fajitas, and oh dude, it was so good. The fajitas were so good. It was shrimp. We marinated the shrimp. We did some chicken for Tiffany because she doesn't like shrimp. And then just like, onions and bell peppers, and there was all in the same seasoning. Oh God, it was so good, dude. I told Tiffany, I said, I will cook any night of the week on that thing. It's so fun. It's so good. The kids. So we. I don't even know if I remember saying this. I know I said this on stream. I don't remember if I said this anywhere else, but we got exposed to COVID. We were in direct contact with somebody who tested positive. That was the reason why we didn't go to anyone's house for Christmas or New Year's. I know a lot of people are confused why we didn't go to Mima and Papa's house, why we didn't see the Bevos. If you watch their vlogs, you know that they went over there, you know, so everyone was like, why didn't they go? Why didn't they go? That's why we came in direct contact. And so, we were self-quarantining. We went and got tests. They all came back negative. We had never had any symptoms. Nothing. It was just, so we got lucky, right? We came in contact, but we didn't get it. So we were good, but that's why we didn't do anything for Christmas. I will admit though, it was our first time ever being home for Christmas, not going anywhere, not doing anything. And I actually really enjoyed it. I sat in a onesie all day. I woke up, I put one on, I had my cup of coffee. We wrapped on presents and did the Christmas thing. We ate breakfast. I showered. I put the onesie back on, and I was bumming. I was just slumming it all day, and it was awesome. I didn't have to get dressed. I didn't have to make a dish and meal and drive. And then, no, it was great. I stayed home and it was great. I'll probably never get to do that again because we'll probably always be at family's house for Christmas, but it was at least nice once to do it. So fast forward to, I don't know, maybe like the second week of January, we finally went to Mima and Papa's house and exchanged gifts with them and the Bevos. And the kids got some LED lights, LED strips for Christmas. That was one of the gifts they wanted. They didn't get it on Christmas Day, and they were like, I think they both were kind of like, oh, no LED strips, huh? Okay. Like I think they kind of like were thinking they were going to get it, and they didn't. But I think both kids were like, that's all right, we'll get them. They're like $50 or whatever. Like they could buy them themselves. We just were kind of like, just wait, guys. Like obviously that night they would have gotten them. Christmas night, they would have gotten them from Mima and Papa, and then it would have, been good. But the fact that it was like 2 weeks later, I think Bryce was actually looking at him. He's like, I think we'll get some LED lights. I'm like, yeah, well, let's look at them. Let's look at them. I'll do it tomorrow. I kept like pushing him out, postponing him to do it because I didn't want to buy them, and then he gets them from Mima and Papa. So last week we put them up in their rooms, and they decided to do the outline of their ceiling, and it turned out really good. It turned out so good that I'm actually thinking about doing the same thing for my stream room. If you watch my streams or if you've watched these podcasts, I got 2 lamps and I've got 2 bookcases with the LED strips on the inside. And so, I like the vibe of my room a lot. I think the accent of my camera, the light on my face, it's a good vibe. But seeing how well they light up their rooms, I thought about doing the outline and then having just a different lighting setup for different streams, especially night streams. I could see myself like just doing the LED strips and no like Elgato key light. So that's definitely a possibility, but the lights turned out really good and the kids the kids are really digging it for sure. And then, like I said, we started getting rain. We haven't really had any rain, for a very long time. We've been in this house since October and it's only rained one time. In the 3 months. And so end of January, it's finally raining again. And today it rained hard. Today was a lot of rain. It hailed. And then, like I said, for my walk tonight, it was very windy. Speaking of podcasts, I've been on a couple of podcasts recently. I was on the May Contain Action podcast with Action Jackson, aka Paul, and I am Trevor May, the baseball player. That happened. I just started playing video games with him, which I'm not, you guys know me, I'm not a sports guy. Don't watch sports, don't really follow it. I only know Trevor because he plays video games, because he streams on Twitch, because we have mutual friends and mutual circles that people, so you hear about celebrities who also stream, right? Like Kyler Murray, the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, he streams on Twitch. I've watched his streams. But that's the only way I follow him or know him. So that was kind of funny how I just via proxy was like, I was playing with Paul and he's like, hey, you might ever bring a friend on? And it's like, yeah, sure. And all of a sudden, boom, it's Trevor May. And I'm like, oh, cool. What's up, dude? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Bryce comes in. He's like, who are you playing with? I'm like, oh, I'm playing with, Action Jackson and Trevor May. He goes, oh, that's cool. He like walks away, but then he immediately like turns around and goes, Trevor May, the baseball player? I was like, I think that's him. And he like looks and he's like, that's him. And he like takes a picture and sends it to Mason. He's like, Mason, look what Dad's playing with. So Mason got more geeked out and Jack got more geeked out because he's the pitcher for the Mets now. He was on the Twins, now he's on the Mets. But I ended up being on their podcast this last week, and that was a lot of fun. I listened to their podcast, so I knew what to expect, and they're just funny guys. I love playing with them because just the banter. Like even Paul and I, when the first time we hooked up, it was just him and I for like the first couple of hours. Freaking the community basically put a bounty on my head and tipped him to kill me in the game. Like my friends do that all the time, but like they went all out this time, and it was a good time. There's a good video out there of him doing that. And then this last weekend, I was on a Destiny podcast called The Destiny Nerds, and that just went live. And so that was a lot of fun. Just talking Destiny, the current state of Destiny, which was refreshing since I've been taking a break from Destiny, like I said earlier. So I'm always down to be on podcasts, and just because again, I like to talk. So as long as I have someone to talk to, I'm always down to just, shoot the shit and back and forth and that sort of thing. My good friends over at Gamer Advantage, you guys know the glasses I wear on stream all the time, the green frames. Those are my Clintus glasses, currently sold out, but they have brought them back already once, so stay tuned. They might bring them back again. They came out with a new product. They're all about eye health and sleeping better, and so they came up with a new product called Eye Candy, and that just launched this last week. And I actually had them for a couple of weeks, and I've been munching on them. There's little gummies. They got vitamin C, they got vitamin E, zinc, and then 2 other minerals that help with eye health and whatnot. So that was cool, exciting launch to get off, because we worked with Gamer Advantage with the glasses and with the t-shirt, and then to be part of their launch, be one of the creators that they gave early access to the eye candy gummies. Was really exciting. So really excited with those guys. As always, guys, all my sponsors and affiliates and partners that I work with are going to be down in the description, the show notes. If you go to my website, Clint.us, Clintus, they're all listed there as well. And so you can check those out. Those are all companies that I work with. They all, they support me. We support each other. That's why I like to use the word partners, not sponsors, because I feel like they, we work in tandem with each other. Thankfully, I've been able to renew some of my contracts already with some of my partners. So Zydex PCs locked in for another year. We'll be getting a new streaming rig here soon, so I'm very excited about that. I re-signed with Elgato. All the equipment that I use for my streams are with Elgato. The light, the camera mount, the camera, the capture card for my camera, the Cam Link, my Stream Deck. I love my Stream Decks. I've got 2 of those. So big fan of Elgato, and just in general, I work with some great companies, and I'm very honored to be working with them and have their support. So any of the companies that you see me support, don't forget to use code Clintus. It's a way to help support me. So if you're looking for a new pair of headphones, you get a pair of Astros, use code Clintus. You're going to buy them anyway, get a little discount, help me out. You're buying G Fuel, you're buying, you're looking for a pair of blue light blocking glasses, check out Gamer Advantage. These are companies that I work with. And so, these podcasts aren't sponsored, but those are my sponsors. And so, but for you using any of my codes or links to purchase any of those products is a way for you to help support me. So I appreciate it. Trying to think if there's been anything else this last month. Like I said, there's been a lot of Tarkov. It's been a lot of Tarkov, a lot of streaming. Oh, you know what? As of this last week, was it Friday? Weed is legal in Arizona for anyone 21 and older. It's been medically here for I think 4 years, and across the country. And granted, depending on where you're listening to this, I mean, Canada it's legal. Certain parts of Europe it's legal. I can't remember if it's New Zealand or Australia, one of those I think are legal. But anyway, here in the States, it's something like 25. I don't know. It's probably more now. About half the country, it's legal for medical purposes. If you get your medical card, you can purchase legal cannabis products. And then as of this last election, it was like 11 states were legal for recreational. And I know Arizona was one of the ones that passed it for recreational use, along with, I think, maybe 3 or 4 other states. So we're getting there towards about half the country. It's now legal to use cannabis. And, up until now, it's been called, medical and recreational. And I've seen a thing on Twitter where the people are trying to change the terminology. Instead of being recreational, it's just adult use, right? It's adult use, very much like alcohol. And we're going to talk about this on a future episode in the podcast. And I already got a guest lined up for this. But, marijuana, cannabis, weed, whatever you want to call it, pot, we grew up, it was bad. It was a drug. It was the gateway drug, right? If you start with weed, it just leads you to more harmful shit and more deadly stuff, and you'll just get addicted, and it'll ruin your life. And it's funny because, of all the drugs, marijuana has always been the one that's been the most controversial because it's like, it's natural, it comes from the earth. And once upon a time it wasn't legal, and then it was legal, kind of like alcohol, right? Like prohibition. Like there's all these, again, the way we were raised in this well, not misconception, but like the notion that when you see that star looking leaf, or when you hear the words or you smell it, you're like, ooh, that's bad, right? It's a bad thing. And here we are in 2021. And like I said, certain parts of the world, completely legal. Here in the country, obviously it's not federally legal, but statewide, a lot of states, it's legal. And I've gone into these dispensaries and I've purchased legal cannabis as if I'm buying a beer. Now, I don't think it'll ever get to the point where I can walk into like a grocery store and buy a bottle of, 6-pack of beer and a joint. Like that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think that will be not something until it's federally like mainstream, like literally 100% legal. Then you'll see companies like Marlboro, they'll sell cigarettes and weed, right? Like it'll be like that kind of thing. I don't think it's going to hit that until it's that federal, like it's that well legalized. But for now, it's in the States. And so that just got announced, like I said, this last week. And something like 75 dispensaries were able to sell it this last weekend. And it's on the news, right? All the news stations are like lines out the door. People are lining up. The dispensaries can't keep up and whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I remember I read the law. I read the proposition, and it'll be interesting to hear after like 1 year how much money was generated, how much taxes were generated, and where that money goes and how it's benefiting. Because you hear all the stories from like Colorado and Washington and a lot of states that it's been legal for a while now, and you hear just like these billion-dollar revenue generated for schools. And so it'll be interesting to see where Arizona ranks up on that. But like I said, we're definitely gonna have an episode about cannabis because I have some views on it, and I have some opinions on it. And now that it's technically legal here in my home state, I feel more comfortable talking about it, and I'd love to have some talks and discussions about the topic as well. Other than that, like I said, the plants are doing good. Our little arrow garden that I got for Christmas is popping. I put some photos up on Instagram and Twitter this last week. The herbs are just like reaching for the sky, and I've been pulling basil leaves off and I've been using the basil more than anything. I'm waiting for the mint. The mint is a slow grower, so I'm waiting for the mint to pop, and I'll start putting mint in my water and my cocktails and whatnot. But it's just nice seeing the green on the counter, right? It's just bright and vibrant, and like I said, you go up there and you pull off a leaf and it's aromatic and stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. On the entertainment side of things, I haven't really been watching a whole lot of TV. I tried to get back into watching TV shows, and it kind of fell off. It fell on the along this. I don't know. It fell off. I just stopped watching TV, and man, it kind of just bummed me out with the whole. I can't get into anything. I was watching Altered Carbon, and I think you have to really pay attention to the story and like the characters. And I took too much time. We took too much time between episodes, and then I lost my train of thought. I lost with the characters. Who's he going for? Who's he talking to? What happened there? Like I lost it, I always said I'm more of a movie person because it's like I watch a movie and it's like beginning, middle, and end, and it's over. Whereas like TV shows, it's like this long, drawn out thing, and I can't devote enough time to it to finish it. I finally watched the very first episode of The Mandalorian with the kids, and it's only 30 minutes, but it was action packed. It was fast paced. And then you see the child for the first time. You're like, oh shit, okay, cool. I want to go watch it. But I'm like, I need to figure out with the kids, like, are we watching it together? Like, do I have to wait for them? Or are we going to watch it all on our own and then just talk about it? Like, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I think I'm just going to watch it without him. I think I'm just going to go and just watch it without him. And I go at my own pace. Other than that, like, there's a ton of TV shows that I want to see, that I want to watch. But for whatever reason, I just can't get like motivated to sit on the couch and like turn it on. I don't know what it is. I find myself going through watching trailers on Apple TV. I'll just start going watching trailers, or Netflix, watching trailers for movies and TV shows, and never actually deciding on what to watch. I'm almost like afraid to start something. It's kind of like the feeling that I get. But I did start watching, like I said, started watching the first episode of Mandalorian. We watched the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. And last night I watched a new Netflix movie. What was it? Off the Line, or Behind the Line, or Off the Wire? Off the Wire. Outside the Wire? Outside the Wire. Fuck, I don't remember. It's got the guy from Falcon. I think his name is Falcon. But it was good. It was good. Wouldn't watch it again, but it was good. Netflix has been coming out with some really good action movies lately. Going all the way back to the beginning of 2020 with 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds. Fucking love that movie. I've watched that like 3 times. Love it. Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. Again, good, but I wouldn't watch it again. The one with Jamie Foxx, the one that Casey Neistat's in, that one was pretty good. I liked that one. Oh, and the one with Charlize Theron, where she's like an immortal. Really loved that. Oh, started pouring rain again. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It is pouring rain. Hopefully my internet doesn't go out. Anyway, yeah, I guess I haven't really been watching. Been watching too much TV shows or anything. Every once in a while, I'll try to watch a couple of YouTube videos. Try to keep up with what's going on with some of my friends. I've got friends that are like selling their houses and building new houses, and a couple of guys I like to watch haven't been posting anything. So it's one of those things where a lot of my focus goes to Twitch and streaming, and that's about it. When I get done with streaming, it's following up with, like Tarkov is a game where I have to put a lot of time and energy into it. Like today I wasn't able to stream. So what I do, I watched a couple YouTube videos and I did some research on the game to be better at the game, which is something I don't typically do a whole lot of in the other games I play. So this goes back to me being a better content creator, being a better streamer, being a better gamer, and giving people a reason to come back and watch me play these games. So it's kind of it, man. That was an hour of me just kind of riffing through the last month of what I've been doing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't touch on. I kind of was using Twitter as a guide, things I tweeted. If I didn't tweet it, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. Or at least I didn't want to share it, which I wouldn't be putting it on here anyways. But so let me know what you guys' thoughts are. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comment section down below. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this in the podcast form, shoot me a tweet at Clintus, or an Instagram DM if you don't have Twitter, at Clintus, and just let me know what your thoughts are on episode 60 of the podcast. Kind of just doing like this recap. I think if I was doing this weekly, it'd be a lot easier to be like, okay, Monday this happened, Tuesday this happened, Wednesday, it'd be like fresh on the mind, and maybe not so much all over the place, because it'd be like literally just what just happened. But like I said earlier, I do plan on at some point getting guests back on here, but I just don't know if this time slot will be good for guests, because 8 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, like that's pretty late to have a guest committing to an hour or more podcast. So I feel like if I'm going to have guests, I'm going to have to move the podcast recording to a more centralized time, maybe like 4 p.m. my time. That'd be 6 p.m. Eastern. It also might be something where it may not be scheduled, like every Monday at 8:00. I might be like, oh, tomorrow at 4, we're recording the podcast because I'm streaming with so-and-so. Or next week, guys, it's gonna be at 10:00 in the morning. I'm recording the podcast, right? That kind of thing. So we'll see. Again, in the back of my mind, I want to do this. I just sometimes question if I should, because I feel like all my content, it's a lot of the same stuff. I tell stories on Twitch. I vlog about it. I'm podcasting about it. I tweet about it. I Instagram it. So it's all a lot of the same stuff, just chopped up and moved around to different places. I feel like the podcast is the one place where I can kind of just be uninterrupted. And even though my thoughts might be jumbled up and moved around and mixed around, it's you've been listening to me for an hour, and I appreciate the hell out of that. So if you're still listening to this, thank you very much. If you're watching this live on Twitch, appreciate you guys. I haven't been reading chat, but I see who's in chat, and I appreciate you being here. And of course, if you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, you're the old school homies. Appreciate you still being around. YouTube's in a weird place, but we're still trucking. We're still moving along, and I don't plan on stopping. So anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for your time and attention wherever you give it to me, whenever you give it to me, as much as you give it to me. Appreciate you. I will see you guys on the internet or on the various places I listened earlier: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all those things. Take care.